Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, call Halal Yamla, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakak. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, as well as cease well, and peace and salutation to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Pretty much, I think I'm gonna title this video, we're not living real lives. All right, us Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, starting with us, the hopeful elect. In this current society, ran by Esau, Edom. Okay, in this beast system, America, NATO, and the EU. All right, we're not living real lives in this system. You wake up every day, you go to work. You go on your little breaks or your lunch break at whatever designated time that your job appoints. You get off at whatever designated time your job appoints. You do this about 4 to 6, in some cases 7 days out of the week. All right. You barely have any free time. You barely have time for recreational time. All right. You're getting paid every 2 weeks, okay? And then the little money that you do get, that you do make every 2 weeks on your paycheck or whatever, okay? It comes in, but then quickly it goes back out because there's always, bills coming up, things you gotta spend your money on, debt to pay, okay? As the scripture speaks about in the book of Baruch, the third chapter in verse 8, Baruch 3 verse 8, it says, "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us, for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, our power." And of course, we the hopeful elect, that are in this truth, we know and understand that ultimately we're in this condition, as we're suffering the curses of disobedience. Okay, we're suffering the curses from the disobedience of our forefathers, in which we are our forefathers in reincarnation. We're basically suffering the sins that we committed under that first covenant. Okay, and when we read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, let's see, Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 47, it says, because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. And this is one of the main curses that we've undergone as a nation, for many generations. Having to serve our enemies, go from one captivity to another captivity to another. After the death of King Solomon, all the different captivities that we went into after the death of King Solomon. The Assyrian, Babylonian captivity, the Persian and Mede captivity, the Greek captivity, the ancient Roman captivity, and then here even to this day, as we're in the revival of the ancient Greco-Roman system. Okay, America along with NATO and the EU, and wherever else we're scattered in captivity in these latter days. Okay, the Lord said, because we didn't, our forefathers didn't, serve the Lord and keep the commandments and keep that first covenant. The Lord said, what? Again, Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness. Meaning what? We will serve our enemies for food, water, clothing, okay, and in want of all things. All right, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. All right, and we know, literally, if you go to Google and you just type in yokes of iron, okay, literally, all you're gonna see is pictures of, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, in captivity, in slavery, with yokes of iron upon their necks. Letting us know that, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are indeed the true Israelites of the Bible, which many Christians try to refute. Okay, but every time they fail miserably, you see. But nonetheless, this is going to, like we read in Baruch 3 and 8, we are yet this day in our captivity, serving our enemies for, food, water, clothing, housing, transportation, all right, the one of all things, the daily essential things that we need to live on our earth in this current time. Okay, we will serve our enemies, all right, be in captivity, be oppressed, okay, be subject, all right, not be sovereign as a people, okay, and when you're not sovereign as a people and having to serve your enemies, for the one of all things, and you're not really and truly living. Okay, when you're subject to fines and payments, you're not truly living. All right, because even as a matter of fact, let's go to all right, and mind you, I'm just going through the spirit in this lesson. I don't have any precepts, anything written down. I'm just strictly going through the spirit. You know, just something that's been on my spirit all day. While I was at work and whatnot, meditating on the spirit, as well as sighing and crying to Yahweh Shemel Shai. We're not living. Okay, this is Second Ezra 6. Yeah, Second Ezra 6 and verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. All right, all nations come out of Adam through Noah, through Ham, Shem, and Japheth. All right, it says, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. And of course, who is the chosen people of the Lord? The nation of Israel. All right, the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, which are so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. It says, verse 55, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Yeah, and that's the main point I wanted to get to. The Lord, this world and everything in it, okay, the things of the earth, the natural resources of the earth, the herbs, the fruits, the vegetables, lands, all right, all these beautiful things that the Lord created on the earth, all right, was ultimately made for our sakes, us Israelites' sakes. We're meant to be the true rulers over the planet Earth, all right, under Yahweh Shai. You see, but right now, as we're yet this day in our captivity, we're subject to fines and payments, all right, and serving our enemies. We have to pay our enemies, okay, for housing to live in our own creation, our own earth that's made for us. We have to pay our enemies for, water, bottled water, okay, something that ultimately belongs to us. We have to pay our enemies for food, which is again something that belongs to us. All right. We're not sovereign. We're not living. Okay. And hell, even as as Israelite men, we're not really and truly living as men in this world. Okay. Any little thing that we do, we have to answer to Esau. We have to answer to our supervisor. At our jobs and whatnot. You can't sit down and eat unless your supervisor approves. Okay, you can't really and truly get your day started without first serving Esau, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours plus throughout the day. Okay, then when you get done serving Esau for the day, you barely have time for recreation and to fully recuperate from a long day. All right, just to have to wake up early in the morning and do it all over again. All right, this is hell. This is death. This is not living. Okay, and again, we're subject to going about our daily lives like this in a world that's ultimately made for us. You see, made for us to be ruled to rule over. Okay, and of course, again, we as the hopeful elect, we ultimately know and understand that ultimately the Lord subject us to these conditions again, because of the sins that we committed under that first covenant. Okay, us going off, all right, and forsaking the Lord in ancient times. All right, so ultimately, we deserve to be in his condition, you know, but we the hopeful elect, we're the only ones amongst our nation that's sighing and crying to Yahweh Shema Shai, hastening the Lord to deliver us out of this hell, this captivity. You see, this death, that we wake up and have to go through each day. You see? Now I want to get this. Alright, because ultimately this condition that we're in, it ultimately takes us all the way back to the curse that was put upon Adam in the book of Genesis. Which let's read it real quick. This is Genesis chapter 3 and verse 17. It says, "And unto Adam he said, Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it." Meaning what? In other words, because Adam listened to his wife Eve, okay, who took on the philosophies of the serpent, all right, that witch in the garden, okay, because that's the tree and the fruit that is talking about basically the philosophies of the serpent, sin, rebellion against the heavenly Father Yahweh. All right, it's not talking about a literal tree or a literal fruit, okay, nor is it talking about a literal snake when you read in this chapter. No, it's all allegorical, okay. But as it said, as the Most High is telling Adam right here, curse is the ground for thy sake, and sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. And right now, under Esau society, we're living on an earth that's cursed. Okay, a lot of the foods that we eat, all right, the fruits, the vegetables, and the herbs that we eat are all tainted in some way, shape, or form with pesticides, chemtrails, all types of stuff that Esau is spraying on the fruits and the vegetables and the produce and all these things. Hey, that's why, there's an actual study you can look up, which, brothers have done videos on sometime last year. Okay, but there's an actual study you can look up about where it basically tells you that, in order to eat oranges today in one single sitting, right? Basically, I forget how it basically words it, but it goes along the lines of if let's say you're sitting down in eating oranges, right? Well, there's an actual study that you can look up where it speaks about how, if you're sitting down and eating oranges, for example, in order to gain the nutrients of an orange that you would eat back in, let's say, the 80s or the 90s, you would have to eat 21 oranges today in one single sitting in order to gain the nutrients of one single orange from the 80s or the 90s. All right, letting you know that this earth is cursed. The ground is cursed. All right, and we see it within the fruits, the vegetables, the herbs, the natural things that come out of the earth. Okay, the ground, this earth is cursed. All right, and it's of course due to the wicked rulership of Esau, Edom. Okay, as the scripture speaks about in Isaiah 24, the earth is defiled by the inhabitants thereof. All right, defiled by the rulership of Esau, Edom, and his beast system. Okay, putting chemtrails all in the air, pesticides, GMOs, Monsanto. All right, not honoring and respecting the land Sabbath that it speaks about in the scriptures and the law, where if you have land, then you ought to do agriculture in that land for 6 years and let it rest every 7th year. Okay, but Esau doesn't rule the land like that. He just constantly each and every year just sowing and planting and reaping, Okay, in whatever land does agriculture on. All right, he never gives the land rest. And that's part of the reason why a lot of the fruits and the vegetables and the herbs that we buy out of the store and that we eat and things like that, it doesn't contain the same nutrients today as it did in times past, because basically Esau, through his wicked system, is wearing everything down. Okay, and especially us Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. In scriptures even speaks about in Daniel the 7th chapter about the fourth beast, which is the Roman Empire, as well as the revival of the Roman Empire, America, NATO, and the EU. It speaks about how that fourth beast would change times and laws, okay, and would wear out the saints. All right, and the saints are Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And how has Esau, Edom, who rules over the fourth beast, as well as the revival of this fourth beast system, America, Babylon the Great, along with NATO and the EU, how has Esau worn out the saints, us Israelites, through defiling the food, defiling the air, defiling the waters that we drink, okay, the rap music, the drugs, okay, the evil entertainment that he puts before us, these wicked celebrities and leaders and that he puts before us, as leaders and whatnot, okay, these so-called black preachers and these false prophets that he puts before us, okay, along with many other things that he's done to wear us out, okay. But as we see right here, Esau, Edom has worn us out through tampering with the food, cursing the food, as it says again, which again is ultimately a curse that takes us all the way back to Adam here in the garden. This is Genesis 3:17 again. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. All right. And it says, verse 18, thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. Verse 19, in the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread till thou return unto the ground, for out of it was thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust thou shalt thou return. Okay, and let's read this in I believe let's see. All right, let's read in the NLT. Genesis 3 verse 19 in the NLT. It says, by the sweat of your brow will you have food to eat until you return to the ground from which you are made, for you were made from dust, and to dust you will return. Yeah, by the sweat of your brow will you have food to eat. Meaning what? That Adam, along with his descendants through Seth, all right, the sons of God. All right, that means what? Through the curse, in the fall of Adam, we would have to work for our food. We would have to labor for our food. And when you understand how the Lord, made the earth, in the beginning during the time of Adam and the sons of God, through Seth, the Lord, it wasn't meant for us to really and truly labor and work to have food out of the earth. It was just supposed to be there, there when we needed it. Okay, we wouldn't have to, do any agriculture, plantings, plowing, things like that. Having food out of the earth was something that was meant for us to have by ease as well as abundance. You see, but through rebellion and sin, and forsaking the ways of the Lord and following after the ways of the heathen, the serpent. Okay, the Lord cursed us by making us subject to having to work and sweat and labor to and toil to have food out of the earth. Okay, and to this day, as again, we're yet this day in our captivity. We do the same thing to this day, as we're serving our enemies Esau, Edom, by the sweat of our brow for food and water and nakedness and one of all things. You see, And that's not living. Okay. You have a lot of our people in this world. They look at how, decimated and destroyed and how low of a condition we are as a people. Yeah, they look at this as normal. They look at waking up and going to work for Esau and their enemies as a normal thing. As long as they're able to get their little paycheck, with overtime every couple of weeks. Okay, get the little income tax, pay off their bills and have a little extra left on the side to buy, beer and other kinds of bullshit that they don't need. All right, they look at this as normal. 2/3 of our people are completely complacent in this lower state. Being in captivity. All right, but you see, we the hopeful elect, through us being awakened to this truth and reading throughout the scriptures and understanding how life is really, really and truly supposed to be. Okay, that's just one of the major reasons why we sigh and cry to Yahweh Shema Shah, and why we hasten the day of the Lord. Okay, because we're not living, we're just slowly dying, especially under his wicked rulership by Esau Edom. Everything that the Lord created to be good for us, food, all right, bread, fruits, wine, honey, iron, as it speaks of in Sirach, the 39th chapter. Okay, everything that the Lord created for the purpose in the principle of man's life. Okay, is basically been weaponized by Esau Edom. Okay, it's just doing nothing but slowly killing us rather than healing us. Okay, and so that just further shows us the Israelite man. We need to get the hell out. We need to get the hell out of here, man. We need deliverance. We need salvation. Okay, we need Yahweh Shai, man. Cause this ain't living. This so-called life ain't living. This is nothing but death. Let's go to Psalms 144. All right, because here in Psalms 140, the 144th chapter, is basically going to summarize what true living is. All right, what true sovereignty is. All right, this is Psalms chapter 144, and I'm gonna start at verse 11. It says, and this is a psalm by our beloved forefather King David. Okay, which the name David, Dawadah, itself means beloved. Okay, and we the hopeful elect, we're known as the house of David or the tabernacle of David, the house of the Lord's beloved. You see, seeking the tender mercies of David through Yahweh Shai. All right, this is Psalm chapter 144, and I'm gonna start at verse 11. It says, "Rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children." And of course, who could this be talking about? Esau, Edom, the Edomites, the Idumeans. Okay, they're the strange children. All right, that we're in the hands of. Okay, that the whole earth has been given into the hands of the wicked, pursuant to Job 9 and 24. So our beloved forefather, King David, is crying to Yahweh Shema Shai, which we, the hopeful elect, we have this same cry to the Lord as well. Rid us and deliver us from the hand or the power, right? Because that's what that word hand in the Hebrew goes into. Yad, meaning power or strength or control. All right. Rid us and deliver us from the hand of strange children, these Edomites, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood. Yeah, pseudoscience. What Esau Edom deems as righteous and progress in society and in the earth and whatnot is really all lies and deception. Is pseudoscience. All right, power signs, lying wonders, as it speaks about in 2 Thessalonians, the second chapter. All right, counterfeit power. Everything that this devil Esau Edom promotes as righteousness, as liberty and progress on the earth. Okay, it leads to the exact opposite. It leads to more death, more confusion, more disease, okay, more of your rights being taken away without you even knowing it, okay. It just leads to more madness and more Satanism throughout the earth. While these things are promoted as righteousness, okay, and that's the same way that the serpent, okay, which Esau Edom is that old serpent back again, all right, that red dragon known as the devil and Satan, that old serpent as it speaks of in Revelation 12th chapter, okay, because the serpent, going back to Genesis 3, how did he deceive Eve? By presenting her with a false a false way that he presented as better, somehow better than the ways of the Most High, better than paradise, better than Eden. You see, he put something he put a philosophy before us that made her think, that it would make her wise and make her a god and all this other stuff. But ultimately, the end result led unto what? Death. Okay, being subject to death, being subject to having to work and labor to have food and essential needs. Okay, and that was the deception of the serpent. And Esau Edom comes in that same spirit in his other days. Okay, he pushes things upon the mass of the people. Okay, the alphabet agenda. BLM. Okay, integration. All this this madness and this falsehood that Esau puts before people, especially our people. He presents it as something that's going to improve our condition and make us healthier and make us better. But it all ends up in what? Us losing. Okay, more death, more disease, more confusion, more division. Okay, more destruction. You see, so that's why, hey, we need the Lord to rid us and deliver us out of this man's system. Okay, it says verse 12 that our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as cornerstones polished after the similitude of a palace. All right, and I like to read verse 12 right here in the NLT. Okay, Psalms 144 verse 12 in the NLT. It says, may our sons flourish in their youth like well-nurtured plants. Okay, because right now, the youth of our nation, the young men of our nation, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American young men of our nation, they're not able to grow up and flourish to be, men in the society. Esau is doing everything that he can to weaken the men of our nation, to effeminize us, emasculate us, all right, by way of the food and these false leaders and these false entertainers that he puts before us, which are nothing but a bunch of Satanists in Esau's back pocket. Okay, the rap music, okay, taking the father out of the household. You see, in an environment like this, the young men of our nation cannot grow up and be strong, Israelite men and flourish. Okay, they can only grow up to be weak, effeminate, a bunch of criminals and degenerates running around killing each other. Okay, doing wickedness. All right, destroying their neighborhoods. Destroying their people. Okay, and then going out and reproducing and having children and raising up their children to be even bigger degenerates than them. You see? So that's one of the main reasons why we need to be delivered out of the hands of this devil. So that again, as it reads, Psalms 144 and 12 in the NLT again, may our sons flourish in their youth like well-nurtured plants. All right, to be strong leaders, to be to serve Yahweh Shema Shai, to be strong husbands, strong fathers. We're not going to fully get that in this kingdom as we're in the hands of our enemies. We won't get that until we're in our kingdom. All right, in the hands of Yahweh Shema Shai, in the kingdom of heaven. And it says, May our daughters be like graceful pillars, carved like a beautiful, like carved to beautify a palace. And when you think of a pillar, right? A pillar is a part of a household that helps hold the house up. It supports the house. Okay, and so basically, as it says, may our daughters be like graceful pillars, meaning what? So that the women of our nation can be supportive, submissive, cooperative women again. And we clearly cannot have that to the fullest in under the captivity of Esau Edom, because Esau Edom has basically weaponized our women, has turned our women against us. Okay, telling our women that they don't need a man, and they could that they're better than us. All right, that they can live life without us. Okay, and of course, and a large part of that is Esau supporting a lot of our women through government assistance and all these things. Section 8, WIC, EBT, and all these things, child support. Okay, Esau in his government inserting himself as the father and the husband in the household. Okay, to our women, kicking the true fathers and husbands out of the household amongst the men of our nation, right? So, hey, so when the Lord delivers us out of the hands of this devil and this system, and we get back in our rightful place as rulers on the earth, as sons of God, under the Son of God, Yahweh Shai, okay, is, by default, that's also going to put, our women in order as well, okay, to be, like pillars unto us, supportive, submissive, feminine, all right, cooperative, okay, so that's another major reason why we need to be rid out of the hands of these strange children, these Edomites, okay, who push falsehood as righteousness, their right hand. All right, so it continues to read Psalms 144, verse 13, that our garners may be full, affording all manner of store, that our sheep may bring forth thousands and 10,000s in our streets. Let's read that in NLT. It says, may our barns be filled with crops of every kind. May the flocks in our fields multiply by the thousands, even tens of thousands. And, when you have crops and, vegetables, fruits, all right, sheep, cattle, livestock, and all these things, then that enables you to do what? To control your food, right? To control your food, you know, and that's a part of being sovereign. That's a part of living. Being able to control your food, knowing where your food comes from. Being able to prepare your own food. Raise your own food without having to go to your enemy for these types of things, because you have it on your own. You have it on your property, okay, in your control. You see, and that's another reason we need to be delivered out of the hands of these devils, so that we can have a kingdom where we can control our food. We don't have to worry about GMOs, no Monsanto anymore. We don't have to worry about the land being cursed no more. Okay, all these things that we go through in this captivity under Esau Edom. It says, verse 14, that our oxen may be strong to labor, that there be no breaking in, nor going out, that there be no complaining in our streets. Let's read that in the NLT. Psalms 144 and 14 in the NLT. And may our oxen be loaded down with produce. May there be no enemy breaking through our walls. Meaning what? In the kingdom, we're going to be able to leave our front doors open again. Okay, we're not going to have to worry about another fellow Israelite, breaking into our houses and stealing our goods. Okay, coveting after our goods. Ain't gonna be none of that going on in the kingdom. It's gonna be complete peace and harmony amongst us Israelites. All right, in the kingdom. Okay, we're gonna have the new bodies with the laws and the commandments written in our inward parts. We're never gonna sin. We're never gonna go off. We're never gonna do evil against one another again, nor evil against Yahweh Shema Shai ever again. You see, it says again, and may our oxen be loaded down with produce. May there be no enemy breaking through our walls. No going into captivity. No going into captivity. No, because hey, here in America, as well as wherever else we're scattered at throughout the four corners of the earth in these latter days, this is our final captivity. You see, this is the time where our affliction would come to an end, as it speaks of in Lamentations 4. And it would come to an end under the rulership of Esau Edom, which is why, it tells you in Lamentations 4, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, for the cup, for this cup of these curses is getting ready to be passed unto you. You see, Esau, you Edomites, you're about to go into captivity now, along with the rest of you heathen nations. Okay, this is our final captivity. It says again, may there be no enemy breaking through our walls, no going into captivity, no cries of alarm in our town squares. You meaning what? No, in the kingdom ain't gonna be no more crime, no more stealing, no more murder amongst us, no more adultery. All right, no more lying to another, no more deceiving. Hey, Akim and Akwath, just imagine, waking up in the kingdom, one day, knowing that not one crime is going to be committed, not one lie is going to be told, not one person is going to steal or commit a murder or commit adultery. You see, not one person is going to dishonor their father or their mother. Not one person is going to take Yahweh Shema Shai in vain or their names. Like just no sodomy, right? No, not one person smoking a cigarette or eating an unclean animal. Like, just imagine waking up one day in the kingdom, and having a day like that, or rather having days like that, shall I say, weeks like that, years like that. Okay, that's true living right there. That's true life. You see, that's a condition on the earth where nature is able to flourish again, family is able to flourish again, righteousness and morals of Yahweh Shema Shai is able to flourish again. The laws of the commandments of Yahweh Shema Shai is able to flourish. Our righteous government is able to flourish. Truth is able to flourish. You see, that's a condition right there where life is able to flourish once again. Order, nature, children. All right. It says again, Psalms 144 and 14 in NLT, and may our oxen be loaded down with produce. May there be no enemy breaking through our walls, no going into captivity, no cries of an alarm in our town squares. Man, hey, that's true living right there. That's true sovereignty. Okay? And as it says here in verse 15, happy is that people. You see that? Happy is that people, because any nation of people that's going to be living like this on the earth, everything that we read from verse 12 on down in this chapter, that's the signs of a happy people. You see, and that's a condition that we're going to be in the kingdom. Okay, having having control over our fruits and our vegetables and our crops, having cattle and livestock, sheep and oxen and all these things, by the tens of thousands, by the millions. You see, not having to worry about somebody breaking in and stealing our things. Okay, no sin being committed, no evil being committed, no crimes being committed. Okay, any people that's living like that is a happy people, as it said. It says verse 15 again, happy is that people that is in such a case. You see that? Yea, happy is that people whose God is the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. You see that? And that's going to be us Israelites in the kingdom. We're going to be happy once again. We're going to be living once again, okay, to the fullest, in perfection. All right, new bodies, being entered into the new covenant with the laws and the commandments written in our inward parts. All right, ruling over the heathen nations and ruling over this earth in total righteousness. All right, as the Lord intended us to be, as sons of God, under the Son of God. You see, And so, hey, we the hopeful elect, until we until these things come to pass, hey, we'll never be happy in a society. We'll never be really and truly living in a society. Okay, as we as we're on this earth, we don't get to enjoy it. We're having to work and be slaves every day, subject to fines and payments. All right, eating crap food and drinking crap water and breathing crap air. All right, living crappy so-called lifestyles. All right, constantly sick, dying. All right, hey man, we not living. All right, we're not gonna be living truly until once we get into the kingdom. All right, then we're really gonna truly be living our best life, so to speak. Okay, and that's when we're gonna be sovereign. All right, no more captivity, no more hell. All right, no more none of this stuff. Hey, that's why the scripture speaks about in Revelation 21, I believe. When Yahushua delivers us, it says the former things are passed away. These curses, death, these sorrows that we go through, these pains and these aches, these sicknesses. All right, the fines and the payments that we're subject unto. All right, and all this stuff that we go through in this flesh. All right, there's gonna be no more in the kingdom. All right, so yeah, like I said, all everything that I brought out in this video right here, it's all through the spirit. I didn't have any precepts or anything lined up. This has just been a topic that's been on my spirit all day. Okay, and really, pretty much every day for that matter. And I just thought to pretty much just lay it on the line in the form of this video epistles that I'm doing right here. You see? Of course, it's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right, sighing and crying, hasten the day of the Lord. You see, so so with that being said, I'm gonna end it off right here. Before I close out, I want to say Kal Halal Yamla Yahweh Shemel Shai Ba'Shem Chak double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well as well as teach well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Until next time, Shalom.